we actually get a fast start from Yasin with his Fiendsmith engraver. We've talked about Julius' deck a bit. He's on 60 cards. Rikka, a lot of different engines, a lot of different going second cards, like those evenly matched that seems to be stuck with his hand. But let's see if he's got what it takes. This is lightning speed from Yasin. Wow.
I mean, maybe it's okay to call Rikka an underdog, but calling Julius an underdog when he's won the last year's YCS and the German National Championships with the same deck. I mean, he's got to be a top contender at this point.
Absolutely.
And I mean, I talked to...
Look at this speed. What is going on? Did somebody pull like a chew off? Like,
there's no rush, guys. Yeah, you have 45 minutes.
He's less than a minute in.
Chill.
Well, he just maybe saw the end of the last feature match and he thought, you know, I'm not interested in any 4-turn dice rolling.
Do you win a prize if you go faster than your opponent? I don't know.
Okay, now we've taken a little bit of time to think.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he plays like this all the time. Maybe it's just nerves. Could be anything, I guess. I mean, I guess maybe this is one of those hands you start with Engraver and a bunch of non-engine, and this is all you have to do. So there's not so much thinking, rather than if you have like 3 or 4 engine pieces, you could think, oh, how can I play through hand traps, so on and so on.
But big decision here, because we got rid of an Ibiru, and that's like an amazing card against the Rikka deck. So either he has a second copy in his hand, or like that would be an interesting decision for sure.
I think this is the only matchup throughout the weekend in which none of our players have hand traps in their deck, so that's why he's playing at full speed, basically. I can't even see the cards, honestly.
He knows what he's doing.
Like, I'm pretty sure we could just put a replay from a previous round, speed it up, and it would still be slower than this.
Maybe he got a slow play warning on round 1 and thought, okay.
Fair enough. Can we get the opposite, like a too fast warning? Yeah.
Okay. Now he's having a deep breath after this apnea.
Yeah, this is like the equivalent of taking 10 minutes to think about a move for any other player, I think. All right.
Julius, he doesn't seem phased. I think he's probably seen this a fair amount, especially if, as you said, no hand traps in his deck. So he's just letting Yubel players do what they want to do. It's often sometimes a bit disconcerting when your opponent doesn't activate any hand traps. You think, what's your plan? You know?
Yeah.
They're just like, yeah, okay, you keep going. And
I guess he probably has, you know, a bit of knowledge about Julius' deck, because otherwise you would need to at least ask your opponent for, you know, any response. But he knows that Julius is on, you know, this breaking the field approach, so he's not really gonna interact during your turn.
Yeah, he seems to have slowed down a little bit.
Yeah. What do you guys think about this specific matchup? Is it still like mostly based on who goes first, or can the Rikka deck, you know, break whatever field Yasin is gonna come up with?
Honestly, I'm not super familiar with how well the Rikka deck plays through fields, but I mean, if Julius has made it all the way here, he's presumably had to face this exact situation once or twice. So maybe he has got what it takes. We saw in the last round the Unchained and Yubel field being broken by a combination of something like Dark Ruler and Droplet. Very neat combination there to get the Dark Ruler off the field so it can't be negated by Desiree. Because otherwise you need like more than 2 field breakers to get through both the Barrier Dress and the Desiree. So yeah, I mean, maybe it's there for Julius, but maybe it won't be.
Let's see here what will be Yasin's goal, because I think now here he's having just to think of what may be the best field to put up.
Also, kind of interesting, is he also on Chamber? Because he just said the Escape, and we have always seen Chamber this weekend, and maybe he has actually decided to, yeah, he's just playing the Escape, it seems. So a little bit of a difference here, but wow.
And I guess it's probably got to be a couple of non-engine pieces, right? Because he only used the singular
and this
engraver, and then he discarded a Nibiru. So between that, like not using any more engine and discarding a non-engine, I guess the cards you're expecting to be other non-engine, but I don't know what you'd like set. Maybe it's an infinite impermanence or something. But
maybe.
Well, I know one thing for sure, that if your opponent asks you battle phase, This could be scary, but okay, luckily for him, that's not the case at the moment.
Yeah, it's almost the opposite, right? They're playing a continuous spell that's never leaving the field. Well, it's not never leaving the field, but, you know, not easily going to leave the field, so unlikely that the evenly match is going to come down.
Yeah, we are going to give some translations to Yassin, and this is the one copy of Rikka Bloom in the deck.
I think the Evil Seed is the ideal one to draw. I don't think the other ones are they're not terrible, they're not kind of bricks, if you like, but they're not ideal.
What do you think of Yassin's field? Because honestly, I mean, from the way he was playing, like, I think we were expecting a bit more, right?
Yeah, it is a little underwhelming, not gonna lie. Obviously, it's still strong, but we have seen much better openers from the Yubel deck. So,
yeah, I'd be interested to know. I mean, it seems like that's all you can do to get into the Yubel engine if you open just one engraver, is to send the Lotus off of the Aerial Eater and then bring it back with a Muckraker. So maybe this is just it.
Yeah. As you mentioned, Tommy probably has quite a few non-engine. I guess a couple of impermanents, that would be like the most reasonable choice to expect.
And maybe that last card, you kind of have to have a read on Nibiru, right? Because in my mind, you're never keeping an impermanence over a Nibiru if you have just the one copy.
No way.
Of each.
I agree with you. Oh, okay. We see one of those going second cards, the Book of Eclipse, which actually wasn't. So he kept an Ash Blossom. He shouldn't have any more cards, right?
Yeah, he's out of cards.
Yeah, his hand looks empty, so I
yeah,
guess those face downs. I mean, maybe
yeah.
we could have a peek at his deck list and see if there's any sneaky trap cards or anything like that. But
no, honestly, I think it's. I think
gotta
it's
be the impermanence, and then
sure.
we'll have to. I mean, wait and see how this will play out, because as you mentioned, the Nibiru was there. Obviously, with this opener, the Nibiru can be a double-edged sword, so maybe that's why.
Yeah,
it's
maybe he's worried about the follow-up.
Yeah.
But kind of at a minimum, you're going to end up with a Phantom on the next turn, because you're going to have a couple of zero-attack monsters. You're going to get to add a Fiend back from the grave with that Unchained if you destroy it with Escape.
Yeah. Do we have a droplet here? Because, I mean, we're still thinking.
I can see it only as the first, I mean, only option.
I guess that would be
considering it,
but for now, no.
I suppose theoretically, if he runs Called by the Grave, you could be thinking about whether to chain that.
Oof, but it is a trust. That's a great one. There is no grass, right? Even though it's on 60. Unfortunately, I was hoping for a grass deck, but
yeah, it is plants, so
yeah, that makes sense.
Makes sense. You need grass in your plants, you know.
But I think, yeah, his grass is probably green enough, I guess, with this deck. And yeah, we just go for talent.
Do you reckon he's got a Yubel in his deck and he can just take the Phantom now?
Of course. Let's see.
Yeah, they're quite nice one-sided interruptions, if you like, because a lot of the time someone leaves a couple of interrupts and you can take it with talents. You can then use it yourself, but you can't use either the Rage or the Phantom as an interrupt yourself.
Okay, and there goes the match with the Rikka Bloom. And yeah, as expected, there was indeed infinite impermanence, if not you, face down. So you will see it is stopped.
Let's see if Julius found any good cards out of the triple tactic talent in his hand, but not gonna look very promising for him.
Yeah, he seems not used any of the things sort of kind of face up on the field.
Okay, he does have the Colosseum, not the greatest, but at least could allow him to keep on playing with the Borea. We are considering flipping a response here.
I guess exactly Escape
No.
would be the response, but
We allow it.
Is Barrea an effect that starts chain when you summon it? Feels like it ought to be, but sometimes cards are not quite like that.
I think it should be, yeah. Yeah. Because you target it first.
So that Barrea might have a difficult time making it onto the field. Through the army of Yubels.
I mean, even if it does, we still have the Soul of Rage, and yeah, it's not gonna be an easy task. But yeah, there was a droplet indeed, but waited, and now we can use it for Chu.
Getting excellent value off the droplet there.
And there's some Samsara, interestingly enough. And yeah, seems like it resolved, so...
How many cards has he got left now? Just the 2, maybe?
Might be on 3, to be fair, because he did draw 2 with... Yeah, I think he was on 3. Yeah, 2 cards remain in hand from Julius.
Between the escape and the rage, there's still quite a lot to play through. And the rage will make an SP. Yeah, no point really negating the rage, right? Because rage will get escaped before it uses its effect, and just take a short break in the graveyard before returning to the field.
Okay, we just right away go for our Link Summon. Are we gonna try and fish? Yeah, we are. So, excavating, this could be a game changer. We have seen this in the past at previous events where Rikka won. How good this card can be if it finds like a bunch of cards like Lomfire Blossom, premium targets, but there was a second impermanence as expected. Oof, this is a tough situation for Julius. I think it might be one of the last interruptions. He's gonna go and try to push, but that was what he needed.
So here comes Mudan.
And only one more card in the end.
What a hand from Yasin, honestly. A double impermanence and Ash as well.
Yeah.
This decision to keep both impermanents over the imperm seems to over the Nibiru seems to have made a lot of sense.
Yeah, what we were briefly mentioning was, again, with the lack of engine, he prioritized just keeping, I guess, his own field, because he wouldn't have much of a follow-up if he just resolved the Nibiru, so...
Yeah, I mean, these 4 monsters, they've not done anything yet. They've just been sitting there kind of menacingly, you know.
Okay, and here comes the big difference, and that is...
Go, go, go.
Nice return. And there's a Purulia.
Yeah, oof. What a start from Yasin. Yeah, you really, really don't want to see that if you're Julius, and it seems like he allowed it. No cross-out designator or co-buy from the side deck or Ash. But it's definitely one of those decks where the Purulia can put in a lot of work. So want to see how Julius try and navigate this.
Yeah, it does special summon an awful lot. And a couple of those are from the hand. Not much you can do, really, it feels like, with the Rikka deck. It feels like you kind of want to go all in.
Yeah. And we start with the Evil Seed. Let's see if... oh, and there is a Vader, which is drawn by the Purulia, by the way, because didn't shuffle his hand. So.
Maybe he's hard drawn the Sunvine Sowing. Oh no, just getting that in the grave for
we
the
do have a Borea. But again, one of those other cards that give Yasin a draw.
Yeah, and it's going to search the Regulus, which is going to be another draw. Ooh.
Yeah, as you can see, there are some decks just like Flowanderies as well, which just keep on summoning from the end, and you know, in those matchups, the card just gets so much better.
Yeah, it feels like there's just very little downside to putting it in your deck as well. Just stop your opponent a little bit, and sometimes even more. Oh, he did hard draw the Sunvine Zone.
But it's not actually that bad in this spot because obviously he was able to set up and you can still combo. And yeah, as we were mentioning, Yacine having to have a read these cards. It can be quite a tricky deck to play against if you're not super familiar with them. There are a lot of very much unique like effects. We have seen it previous finals, and yeah, now comes arguably one of the best cards.
Yeah, this feels like almost like a Zold, one of those cards that is absolutely powerful for the type that it is in, and yet we can still use 3 copies of this. So
yeah,
maybe one day it will go the same way, but for now, Plant players can enjoy using it.
Ooh, there's the Ghost Ogre.
Ghost Ogre, another one of those not so popular choices, but again, a card that Yacine maybe wasn't too familiar with. And yeah, you can see him having a little bit of a shake of his head. And I mean...
Yeah, that's got to be very frustrating. Just one of those little things in the graveyard that's completely dealt with one of your hand traps.
Yeah. And on the other hand, you can see just how many times Julius have gone through this. And yeah, on the other hand, Yacine having to read all of the cards can definitely take away a bit of your focus. You see him being a bit confused on how this works.
And we were mentioning this, that to play against Rikka honestly is no joke. It's like very difficult, and although it's been around for the last 2 years or so, still I think it's very difficult, you know, to activate your hand trap if you are really familiar with the deck. So maybe what I'm thinking is, I think I need okay.
Wow.
He's here.
But I mean, we do have...
you have the Regulus.
The Regulus.
You can just send the Berea, right?
Yep.
And you're still going to have the Regulus up for next turn. It's kind of got 2 negates with it when you summon it with the Berea.
Do you think there was maybe some merit in just waiting? If your opponent gives you more draws, you open, find something like an Impermanence or another Veiler?
I think so.
You know?
Makes a lot of sense. On the other hand, do we know for a fact that Julius isn't going to end up with more negates?
I guess not for now, not for the super immediate future. Like, the question is whether he's gonna special summon right away from the end, but usually, yeah, he's gotta go for the Mudan at some point, so.
Yeah, almost certainly going to see a Princess too at some point. Oh yeah, this is going to summon twice from the hand if you summon the... what is it, the Queen, this one? Or is it the Fairy, the one that tributes and you get to summon itself and another Rikka from hand?
Yeah, the Fairy should be the Snowdrop.
Oh, Snowdrop, that's the one.
And now we go... Okay, Bengal Lancer. And yeah, as you can see here, more draws. And if he would have picked up... Let's see, can't quite tell, but... Yeah, that could have been actually devastating.
Yeah, that would have been a peak time for Nib plus Imperm.
And yeah, it seems like he's explaining these last few interactions to Yacine, but this is something that we have seen plenty of times. Not really using the Rikka engine for this game. This seems like more of a traditional Rikka opener.
Yeah, he's just getting full value out of all of his cards there. Tributing off the Bengal Lancer because it can come back by its effect.
Yeah, and once again, explaining these cards and finally completing what seems like a very good turn 1. Replacing field spells, getting the sheet, we can assume. Yep, there it is. And this, yeah, it's just so good.
I mean, playing under the Purulia plus Veiler and Ogre, honestly, it's...
And Nib.
And Nib.
Even with this abridged combo through 3 hand traps, it still feels like quite a lot.
I don't know why, I was kind of sure that when he activated the Nibiru, he had like a Veiler or an Imperm.
Yeah, I mean, when you're Julius, I mean, maybe you just kind of assume your opponent doesn't know what they're doing. Because if you 100% think your opponent knows what they're doing, are you supposed to tribute off the Regulus just straight up and prevent Nib? prevent a possible imperm. But then again, if your opponent like was being super careful, you just imperm the Regulus before activating Nib, and then so it has to be a bluff almost.
Right.
Otherwise, we're getting too deep in the mind games.
Yeah. But now the play is on Yassin. I think he's on 7 cards maybe, but 6 or 7. And now it starts things off with this Dark Beckoning Beast, which actually prompts this Droplet. And wow, is it a Mulcharmy? I guess maybe the one-off for the cross-out was actually drawn.
I think that's exactly it. Getting double GT there, the Droplet negating both the effects to search and preventing an extra normal summon.
And yeah, for now this is it. We have multiple ways to interact with the Yubel deck at the moment. So Julius just...
Is this time for just the sheet? Just take those 2 monsters off the field at once.
Yep, that's what he is explaining. Exactly gonna tribute the Larry and then take away the Beckoning Beast. And now still has 3 interruptions at least, with a compulsory kind of like effect negation plus a destruction. So this is still tough. We have 1 for 1. Oh, okay. Discarding Engraver. That's a good one.
I was thinking it made possibly more sense to tribute the Beast and take the Lurie, because that would deny Yassin a Light Fiend in the graveyard. And I was thinking, oh, that's probably not going to come up. And then all of a sudden, 1 for 1 discards Engraver.
Do we negate this with Regulus?
I would do it, I think.
There is some merit to it, for sure.
Is the Lotus a quick effect, though?
The Samsara?
Yeah. Because if not, you can just... Surely it's kind of better just to tribute it with the teardrop.
The summon from deck is not.
Yeah. Because I feel like the Regulus is better to hold on to compared to Teardrop or...
Julius agrees. And it does resolve.
I mean, Yassin had so many cards this game. Julius is showing off how much it takes to efficiently deal with this.
I was also thinking Venga.
Because Yassin is left with 3 cards in hand and one of them is the Nibiru, right? So let's see if he has something to deal with this, because okay.
There's not a princess in the grave as well, is there? So Julius just going over the graveyard there? Don't think so.
There might be, but I don't... Yeah, I'm not sure on that. So right now we can still return something to the end with the Bengal Lancer, and we have the Romulus. That's about it. So that's also what I think Yassin is asking.
Yeah, I mean, this feels like it's going to be enough, right? I was just straight up returning it there, maybe in response to the Requiem effect. So that was going to force out an interruption. Anyway, guy still has the Nightmare Throne.
The throne.
The throne is there from Yassin, and we use the Regulus. Is there still another push from Yassin?
Last card in hand, basically,
this
because
is so much, and there is not. So a pass back. Julius navigating this perfectly, but is there enough to close this one out, or is he gonna just pass back?
Yeah, you've still got the sheet because you have the still have a Rikka monster on the field.
Glamour.
Should the Nightmare Throne be in the graveyard? I feel like if you negate a field spell effect, the activation, doesn't it go to the grave?
I think Romulus only negates effects, by the way, but let me check.
But well, if you negate like the
I know what you mean with like
continuous or field spell, that just never resolves. So I think it's not going to be super important this game, but
yeah, he only negates the effect.
Oh, it doesn't negate the activation. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's important with the Rose Whip, isn't it? I'm not sure Julius felt the need for that one, but just needs to keep a heads up about the Nibiru in hand.
Yeah, I don't see a universe where Julius just forget. As you mentioned, he has been in this spot before. He's used to playing on stream and under pressure, and it's just showing us. Looking really good to just tying this one out, but
yeah, I mean, he had to fight through everything. Yeah.
Yeah. And there
The rest of his cards to combo off freely. What do you reckon?
Yeah, could definitely be the case. At the same time, I think it's also the quality of the field breakers that changes significantly, because although they are comparable, like evenly matched would have been devastating in game one. So it really depends on what you see. But for now, Yacine starting off strong once again, although I gotta say the pace has changed significantly. Not quite as game one. He has relaxed a bit, or maybe he's more tense now that he's only one game away from the finals, but also one game away from getting knocked out, you know, after 14 rounds. That is something you gotta keep in mind.
Oh, here we are. Nice little interaction that the opening of the Spirit Gates lets you discard a card from your hand. And when that card is Fabled Lurie, that's a Light Fiend for free.
Again, very innocent, very little, very cute, but scary.
I don't know. I don't know if Lurie's innocent. He looks kind of like he's up to no good, no?
Maybe. Take those. And yeah, now, I mean, it seems like he has a bit of a decision tree to go for. I saw an Impermanence and maybe even a Ghost Ogre, so I mean, it makes sense that he would keep a lot of these interactions going first against the Rikka deck. Well,
yeah, one thing to think about with the speed of play here, I know 15 minutes seems like a lot, but depending on how many actions Julius gets to take on his own turn, it might be the case that Yacine doesn't even get to the second battle phase. So
yeah,
maybe playing fast is the way to go, but you know, you also need to be very careful not to make any mistakes just at the expense of going a bit quicker.
Yeah, and I think what we saw in game one after the ends was revealed made sense. Like, that was literally the only piece of engine that he got, so he knew that he didn't have much of a choice. That was the only combo he could go for, and so he went super fast. This is a little bit of a different end. He has more interaction, so he's just thinking a bit more on what to play around and what to go for. But yeah, the Aerial Eater once again, the star of the deck. Now that Beatrice is gone.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically Beatrice, right?
Absolutely. Ask Nadir. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, given your whole deck is Fiend monsters in this case,
it's even better.
It's even better. Yeah, it comes back for free.
Yeah.
Easier to summon. Yeah, I think we should tell Nadir.
Yeah.
It's better in Burning Abyss even.
Absolutely. I mean, Fiends. And yeah. I see a Squirmer, I think. Yeah. Okay, we now commit to a play, go for the Muckracker, and we are using the effect to just bring back this Samsara the Lotus.
Yeah, once again, the Muckracker really proving its worth in combination with the Aerial Eater, allowing you to get into your Yubel engine when you otherwise wouldn't be able to. Basically, how, you know, any one starter can get you into your Yubel and Fiendsmith engine is very, very impressive in this deck. It's very smooth.
Such a great card, and now we are using the Samsara. And as you've mentioned, Tom, the time, I think, will for sure become an issue at some point. We have seen these duels last even for 25 to close to 30 minutes. So like 13 is not that much at all.
And yeah, if there's one deck you don't want to be in a little life point struggle with, it's Aromages.
Totally.
Very good at gaining a couple of life points here and there.
We still have that Sharvar, I believe, in end. So The good thing, I think in a matchup like this one, the decision from Yacine to include escape instead of chamber is actually massive. It's like having a different kind of interaction can really be even better when you're facing field breakers. So we'll see whether that will be the case as in game one, where that was the card to which Julius scooped up.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It's something that players haven't seemed to reach a consensus on as to which is the better trap. I mean, they're both powerful traps, so maybe some people will just think, you know what, I'll just play both.
Alberto.
But yeah, in case you draw one, right, then you can just get the second one.
Yeah.
I'm a fan. Not gonna
The
lie.
more trap, the better. Yeah. And yeah, this definitely looks much better than game one as an opener. But we are actually going for an XYZ. Interesting
Beatrice?
here. Nah, I don't think so. And yeah, it's gonna be the Icing Caesar, such a strong card, able to stop a lot of the engine from Julius. Those unexpected dies, for example. There are a lot of interesting cards that card just shuts down.
Showing like a somewhat of disrespect to Nibiru here, I feel like, because
Yeah.
just before the Wave King Caesar came down, it could have been on the field. Maybe he just knows that. I mean, Julius probably just got the one copy of Nibiru in his side deck for the
And he has one, funnily enough.
designator.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess 1 out of 60, but it's still it could still be in his hand. I mean, obviously it's not, but it could have been.
I think this looks even better than game one.
Yeah,
right?
no, for sure.
Yeah.
This is a much better combo. As you can see, it's gonna be paired up with, I think, an Infinite Impermanence and something else. Yeah, that should be the Impermanence. We are still vulnerable to that battle phase, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're totally right. No Varudras and no Desiree. Julius, if he can get out.
We're not done,
Oh,
though.
we're not done, though.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe the...
Yeah, it looks as if he was done, but he is not.
Oh, no, I think the Grave Squirmer just got tributed and then the Lotus came out, so
Yeah.
this might just be...
Okay, is that it? 10 minutes remain. And that is the end of the turn for Yacine. Julius pick up his cards. Does he have the evenly matched? I think he did say battle phase. I don't know. I saw just a very
He was
unhappy
shaking his
face
head.
from Yacine. It is the battle phase, I think. Oh man, oh man.
Is it going to be... Yacine is looking
He has
like
it.
something's
He
about
does
to
have
happen.
the evenly matched. Wow, and see, just look at Yacine, he looks crushed. Wow. He knew about it once again. He knew that that could be a possibility.
Wait a second, you can't destroy the evenly matched here.
Oh,
Because it banishes until you control the same number of cards. So if you destroy evenly matched, you'll...
yeah, but I guess he destroys another card of his own. Okay, yeah.
Does it not have to target...
No, you can destroy a
either
card of
side of the
I
field?
also got
Okay.
worried for a moment because, yeah, you can destroy a card of your own, but now in a new chain, at least he has got a couple of his cards destroyed, so good recognition by Yacine. Keeping the Icing Caesar.
Maybe evenly matched too, you know?
Oof. And now he's considering this Yama as...
Can add back the Yama with the Soul of Rage. Activate the Yubel to summon the slightly larger Yubel from the deck.
Traps are good, I told you.
Which one?
Yeah. Wow, a little bit of a consideration here on some chain links declared, I guess. So just making sure that we sequence everything correctly. And this is exactly what's going on. And yeah, the Yama should get banished. It was still in the graveyard. What's going on? Okay.
Then
yeah.
resolve the armor. Maybe he didn't activate the Yama at the right time or something like
I
this?
guess. Yeah, it looked like as if he actually didn't
Wow.
go for it. And now there is a Dark Lurer as well,
The
followed by an
unexpected
unexpected die.
What a hand.
Wow. This is crazy from Julius.
Picking
I mean-
apart the Yubel deck like it's just nothing.
Welcome to Europe.
This is almost like Tenpai, you know? I just
Yeah.
Field Breaker 1, Field Breaker 2, and here we go.
But at least here, good recognition from Yassin, where apparently he wasn't allowed to use this Yama earlier on for some reason. Maybe and this could actually become beneficial to him, I guess.
Oh, wait,
But-
there needs to be a Fiend that he summons here. He can't use it. Oh, no. Because he's, no, it's the Shavara that locks you into Fiends, right? So unless he has a Fiend to summon.
Doesn't he side into the other chain?
Oh, you're right.
Well, you tend to side that in when you're going second, right? Because that's the one you can use during your turn.
Yeah.
He needed to pop the Shavara with the Yama, maybe. But, I mean, Julius still would have 3 cards left to push through just an SP. But this way, he doesn't have to push through anything.
Nope. And yeah, again, a little bit of a confusion.
But yeah, that nearly benefited him quite a lot, having missed the Yama.
Yeah, and I think in the meantime, we get that penalty as the previous didn't have a previous warning of the same type, and then we can't move on. So, as you can see, Julius has now gone for the Lochi.
I think
combo.
the penalty is now you have to watch as your opponent plays half of the monsters in their deck. And you sit there powerless with the Unchained Soul of Rage, unable to link summon anything without an appropriate Fiend monster in your extra deck.
Oh,
Just in case.
Yep, and there is even the droplet. I think he even had the princess, right? Discarded from it?
Yeah, yeah, he had the princess as well. What a hand from
Wow.
Julius. Wow.
I mean, 60 cards is the way. It's just a better number. Yeah, this is crazy. And I actually glimpsed that one Nibiru in the deck. So you were right, Tom. There was a universe in which Yassin would have been punished by that one Nib. So that would have been a funny one.
Yeah, I mean, Yulia's just playing all of these big answers, even the one-of Nib, but you know, all these massive cards that your opponent has to have checks for all of them, and if they don't, can be absolutely devastating, as we are about to see. I think this is a proper European welcome from Julius, isn't it?
Absolutely. This is definitely a real deck. And even now in 2024 and for this event, as you can see, it's crushing. It has it didn't even have an easy road. Making it to the top 32 was extremely tough this weekend, and Julius had to fight through a field of amazing competitors, and he was the first duelist this weekend who, just in the top 8, defeated Herman Henson, former World Championship competitor, and who was still undefeated up until the top 8. So Julius is just on a roll with this deck.
Yeah, it's hard to find a weakness in it, like going first or second, almost. Like going first, it was just absolutely unbelievable how powerful it was there, being hand trapped multiple times. Yassin had like 8 cards to try and deal with it, with like 3 or 4 hand traps, and all of the engine he could wish for, and it was still nothing. And here we see going second, Julius has got all the tools he needs in the non-engine, and then followed by just one innocent-looking Seed, which I'll maintain is slightly more innocent-looking than the Fabled Lurry.
I guess so. But it's definitely more threatening now that this is just incredible from Julius.
Yeah, what the Seed grows into, it's a little bit more than what the Lurry does, just by its lonesome.
And yeah, Now we get to use the tributing part of our amazing field spell.
Yeah, the Unchained Soul of Rage has had quite a turn, being destroyed,
Yeah, I mean,
summoned back, negated, and then tributed.
I think temp, yeah, A+ for effort, but maybe, I mean, not quite in the results, I guess.
Only thing for Julius to keep an eye on whilst he's having all of his fun is not to somehow end the turn with less life points than his opponent, because you do pay life points a couple of times, or at least once with that Humid Winds. I think you have to pay 1,000 and you can search an Aromage from your deck to your hand, but I think you then gain a few life points afterwards. I think even after all this, he's probably going to have enough time to swing for game the normal way on the following turn.
Yeah, he also has ways, obviously, to keep on getting life points later on, and yeah, we'll see whether he's able to just get over this gap. But as you've mentioned, there should be enough time to just have another turn. Yassin doesn't have anything outside of this Sharvara, so
yeah, I'm feeling an elemental here, Bubble Man off the top.
Yep.
Let's draw 2.
There goes the other Jasmine.
And yeah, here Julius basically showcasing us how he knows the deck in and out. And yeah, Yassin is just, I think, witnessing.
Yeah, Bengulezi comes down, and now we can bounce one back.
And Bengules.
And what a showcase. Wow. Flawless execution by Julius. And now we are ahead, by the way. Important. Even in terms of life points, if that was needed. And we are not, for the second time that we have seen Julius, again, doesn't use the excavation effect. Does not need it.
I think it got negated last time, didn't it?
No, once again he used it without, yeah, in this future match, yeah, but like in the previous one he also decided not to go for the effect.
He just banished a ton of plants there. Oh, that is for the
and there it comes.
Aromage fusion at the end.
What a turn. What a turn.
Yeah, I mean,
The Magnolia.
this is a bit of a flip, isn't it? Oh, is he just paid 2,000? I love it. No fear. I think
Look at
it
this.
pays 2,000 to banish something. Yeah.
Well, this looks fair. I think, yeah.
You've seen running a little bit low on cards.
That Sig grew faster, I think, than we thought.
And yeah, again, good effort, but I think this one has gone Julius' way. One more draw for Yassin to stay in this. Don't think of a card that can keep him. Is definitely not the Ash.